Hi, Dan Tokar here at the Willow Forge in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. And today on a Blacksmith Dictionary, I'm going to show you how to make a hairpin cross or hairpin X-brace, or this one's a little bit off because I was in a little bit of a hurry, but you can get the idea. It is actually something that sort of came to mind because I saw a design like this on a Rune Stone on Professor Jackson Crawford's Norse language channel, and I'll put a link to that below. But it's an interesting motif, and I can think of all sorts of interesting ways to use it, either as a brace, as a cross. Here, let me show you what it looks like up close. Basically, you have a ring with a pair of dimples in it where the bars are, and those bars are not welded in, they are simply held by the tension on the ring. Okay, the first thing we have to start with is a piece of stock, and we'll use this 3/8 inch round to make the ring that will be the band in our design. Nothing particularly magical about this part of the operation. It's merely making about a 3-inch diameter ring out of 3/8 inch round stock. So I'll put a long scarf on one end, coil it up, cut it off, scarf the other end, weld it, make it round again. Boy, it does sound like a lot. Like most projects, the simplest things can sometimes take up the most time. I am also trying out a different filter combination on the camera, so I don't know if this is going to look too bright or too dark when I actually work on things, but we'll find out. Alright, I don't have to get it too hot in order to put a scarf on it. Okay, I can start coiling it up. If I needed to make an exact size ring, I would cut off a piece of stock before I scarfed it and worked it with the set length. But in this case, I don't really care how big the circle is. If I needed to make a bunch of these, I would probably cut the stock to size beforehand. But this is still more a one-off kind of experimental design. I should put the links to Jackson Crawford's Rune Stone visit, which sort of inspired this design. I do watch his channel from time to time, and he's recently been visiting far off places, and seeing some interesting sights. So I have a circle about the right size. What I'm going to do is cut it off and put a scarf on it and then weld it. I've been racking my brains. The design seems somewhat familiar, but I don't think I've ever actually seen it used in modern ironwork. So if anybody has a link or a reference to this particular pattern being used, I'd be interested to see it. I have a vague memory of having seen the design used in old work, but I simply can't place it. Alright, so I take my cutoff. I'm going to put that. It's impolite to shoot red hot metal across the floor, so I clip it most of the way through and then break it off. Put the rod over there. And hopefully, I've got enough access here to put a little bit of a scarf on that piece. Get them lined up to the weld. This really is not a video about forge welding, though it's not a bad exercise in that manner. So I have scarfed it, overlapped the ring, put a little bit of borax as flux. And remember, flux is not glue. All you need is enough flux to make a coating, a barrier, so that the pieces will come in clean contact and the slag will shoot out. Clean metal will contact and you'll get a weld. So that will go in the fire. Before I make that weld, I'm going to put my apron on. I don't want to burn up my pants. I like this pair of pants. This is a good pair of pants. Why should I put little burned holes in it? And I'm going to need to put some more coal on the forge. Okay, more coal on the forge. These are chain lip tongs. I don't know if you've ever paid attention to this, but there is a particular kind of tong that's made to grab a chain link while you weld it. It has a little groove that runs at right angles to the jaws so that you can grip the round. Right. I'm doing this in the afternoon, just after lunch. fire is getting warmed up again and banked the fire, it seems to be happy now. As I get it up to a welding heat, I start to see the yellow sodium line from the borax in the fire. Tells me I'm getting close to a welding heat. Great. I'll even grab my hammer. And that's welded. I will take a second welding heat. If I refine this at a welding heat, it'll blend in nicely, but it is welded now. Makes it easier to shape the rest of it anyway, so I'll weld it again, do a quick heat, and round it out and make a nice little ring out of it. Again, it's not magic, it's flux. Flux is not glue. Put that back in the fire. You don't need to have a whole lot of fireworks. If you've got the scarf right and you've got the temperature right, you really don't need to have it so hot that it sparkles. You're actually burning the metal when you do that. Some people feel like they've got to have a burning heat to weld. I don't understand it. They're not trying to melt them together. Nice hot fire. It's also that my forge pot, my fire pot is fairly deep. I intentionally made it deeper than most people's because you do have less of a tendency to burn things up. You have a deeper neutral zone. Alright, so that's ready to go again already. Alright, here we go. Ready? Maybe I did get that a little hotter. That may have been a little hotter than I normally go. Now what I'll do is I'll heat the whole thing up and put it on the mandrel and make it round. Hooray! We will have our ring. There. Put the mandrel out here in the middle. Alright, so pull the mandrel out in the middle, heat the whole thing up. Important thing is to get the whole ring hot because any cold spots will not move as easily. The whole ring up evenly if you can manage it. Fairly evenly. Tap, 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 tap. Turn the ring over. Okay, so I have my ring, reasonably round ring. Yay! Alright, time to make the other pieces. This will get cooled off now. I need to maybe wire brush it a little bit too. Alright. Cleaned it off and cooled it off. So, the ring is ready. I'll put the ring over there. Okay, so I have the rest of that 3/8 inch round bar, and I am going to mark it into 2 equal sized pieces because we want our cross to have equal arms. I don't know why, other than that's just the way the original was. So there's 15 inches. That seems like a nice size. That way. So I put a little mark so that I can find it, because that will not, the chalk mark won't survive the fire. Okay. Housekeeping here. A nice neat fire. There. So, here's our ring. I haven't actually measured it yet, so the inside diameter is 2 1/8. 3 3/4 outside. Yeah, so that's a good sized ring. Alright, I've got to find my there it is. And again, I don't want to have the red hot bar go across the room. I've got 2 about the right length. That away. Alright. Now, as a practical matter, I don't want this bar to be hot, at least not right now. This one I've got to find the center of. This sounds familiar. I have to find the center of the center. So, this is 15 inches, so 7.5 is my center. Okay, now I'm going to get my cute little pair of bolt tongs here, and just to give myself a indicator, I'll put a little bump right at that mark. What I'm going to do is do a hairpin on this thing, which means that I will cool off all the excess heat except just in the area where I want it to bend, and then I will bend it, and it should bend in a fairly tight radius. I'll put a glove on anyway. It'll be just my luck that it won't cool off fast enough. Another thing I want to be able to do is put this rod inside that bent radius. See, I cool it off in the right spot. Now what I can do is use that rod to put a little bit notch in my hairpin. I want this hairpin radius to be a fairly tight fit on this rod. Okay, so that's what we have right now. Is we have sort of a cotter pin that we've made out of the one bar. I'll put that aside for the moment. Now I need to find the middle of this bar. This bar is also 15 inches long, or it should be. Yes. So 7.5 is right there. And I don't really have to forge this hot, because all I'm going to be doing is putting a little groove, a very shallow. All that does is give me a spot that I know where the right location is. Right? Right. All right. All right. So we have the ring, and this is also a piece of 3/8 inch stock, which is painted white, which might help you to see it a little better. What I'm going to do is heat up the ring and put two sets of dimples, half round grooves, in opposite sides of the ring, which will be the locking part of the ring, so that the bars will stay in place. Now, painting your bar white doesn't do anything other than show up on camera better. One of my few concessions to trying to be able to see things on film, on video. Okay, so we have a nice ring. I'm going to put this one in. So I have two nice grooves. I'm going to turn it over, and I can see where my marks are, and I'm going to put this in at right angles. Use a little plate as a flatter. Make my ring flat again. So anyway, what we have now is a pair of radiused marks at right angles on opposite sides of the ring. I'm going to cool this off in water now. We want the ring to be cold because we don't want the ring to move anymore. So now the ring is cool. I put that right there. I have the two bars. This bar has this little jog in it, and this is the hairpin where it's hairpinned right in the middle. I'm going to heat this part of it up. Heat the hairpin up. And then I'm going to need two pairs of tongs. And a glove. Don't forget your glove. What I'm going to do is open the hairpin a little bit, slide the crossbar in it, put it through the ring, and then pull it all straight. Hairpin needs to be nice and hot. I pull the hairpin out and I open it up just a little bit. I put the rod through there. I take this ring, right, opened it up just a little bit too much. Put the ring down so the dimples are like that. Then I grab this one, and I grab that one, and I go, oof. Turn this over. And there's the hairpin. Of course, it would have worked better if I had actually put my dimples at exactly 90 degrees. I managed to get that out a little bit. I'm going to cool this off now. Yeah, my dimples are not exactly at right angles. I managed to get that off a little bit, but you can see they're stuck together. Nothing's moving because the bars are in the dimples. Again, Xena Warrior Kitten is going to advise me on this project. She knows the proper way to do most things, but she has a hard time showing me because she doesn't have opposable thumbs, and she has the detriment of not being able to speak English. I have a lot to work on. Anyway,